Express yourself. Express yourself.
Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Lee here for another assembly, and remember we're focusing on express yourself. Oh, I've got another video coming up from one of our lovely teaching assistants who is going to express herself to you and what makes her happy. I hope you're going to have your good looking eyes and your good listening ears. Right, what do we start with? That's right, we always start with a time. Let's have a look. I think it's a tricky one today. The minute hand, the long hand, is on the 8. Ooh. Now, I'm going to tell you what that means. It means in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, it will be o'clock. So in 20 minutes to, it will be o'clock. So we will now say the shorthand, that's the hour hand, is pretty much on the 5. So in 20 minutes, it will be 5 o'clock. So we say that's right, 20 minutes to 5, or 20 to 5. Gosh, it's a tricky one. Really, really hard when the minute hand is not on the 12, the 3, the 6 or the 9, the ones that we know pretty well off by heart now. So we're going to really try and work out these different ones, okay? Right, so we'll leave it at that. We're going to go to the language of the month. Now it is Malayalam, and there is a young girl who is in, I believe, class 4, not here today for our assembly. She's at home. Hello, you know who you are. And I have been told off because I have not been saying hello correctly. I'm now going to say it, hopefully, fingers crossed, correctly. I am saying namaskaram. Namaskaram. Can you say it? Namaskaram, okay? And that is how you say hello in Malayalam. And hopefully at the end of this video, I'm going to say goodbye to you correctly too. Fingers crossed. Anyway, what else have we got to look at? Yes, this week we have asked you to be brave. We have asked you to be courageous. We are asking you to be bold. We want you to think about things that make you happy, all right, in school or at home, and be creative. Now, my story today is in my basket, hang on. This book is about a man called Henri. Henri, he's called Henri Matisse, okay? Looks like Henri, doesn't it? But it's Henri. Henri was French, okay? And he lived a long, long, long time ago. He's no longer with us. But I'm going to read you this book because he does something that makes him happy, all right? And he then can't do it any longer, so he has to think how he can still make himself happy, and he finds another way, and he's a really old man when he does it. Okay, let's find out about Henri, yes? Okay, all right, Henri's scissors. In a small weaving town in France, a young boy named Henri Emile Benoit Matisse watched his mother paint china. He wanted to paint too. He drew pictures in the sand. And he drew pictures in his school books. And when Henri was a young man, he drew pictures in his books at work. Look. Henri was sick with appendicitis. That means he had quite a poorly tummy. His mother gave him a box of paints, and he painted until he was better again. He kept on painting. He forgot all about his work and his job, and he left his small town to become an artist in Paris. Look at him off. Off he goes with his sketchbook. Henri painted pictures day after day and year after year. And he was happy, and his paintings made people happy. But when Matisse was an old man, he fell ill. So ill he could not paint. so ill he couldn't sit up in bed. All he could do was lie down and sleep. His paintings floated by in his dreams. One day, Matisse finally opened his eyes, and they were filled with sadness. Now he must remain in bed or forever use a wheelchair. Would he ever have the energy to paint again? Look at those sad eyes. When Matisse was strong enough to travel, he went to the seaside. The sea air might help him to get well. And before long, he began to sit up in bed. And a little later, he started to draw. Then, one day, Matisse picked up a pair of scissors and he started to cut out some shapes from painted paper. He was drawing with scissors. A pair of scissors is a wonderful instrument, he said. Look at all the lovely shapes he's cut out. Matisse cut paper all day. Oh, and my pleasure in cutting things out grows greater. Why didn't I think of it earlier? He said to himself. His assistants painted paper for him all day. Somebody painting red, somebody painting purple. It seems that I'm in a second life, he said to himself. Paper cutouts covered all his walls. One evening, Matisse lay in bed and drew the faces of his grandchildren on the ceiling with a piece of chalk tied up on a long pole. And as he fell asleep, they looked down at him and saw his dreams. They saw the shapes that surrounded him in his sleep. As time went on, Matisse cut bigger and bigger shapes. They filled his seaside room with colour. You see, I am obliged to remain often in bed. I have made a little garden all around me where I can walk. There are leaves and fruits and a bird, he said to himself. I am deeply contented and happy. See him? His eyes don't look so sad there. Wow, that's a lovely, lovely book. Finding something to express yourself. Express yourself. Okay, so we're going to the next video. I will see you at the end. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Gould, and I like to be creative through gardening and growing my own fruit and vegetables. I feel like I've achieved something and it makes me feel proud as I myself have produced something that I can eat. So today I'm going to show you a very simple method of how to sow some seeds, and then at the end you can eat them. And it's a very simple idea. You have a bottle and you just leave it on the windowsill and that's it. You don't even need to water them. You don't need a garden, so it is very effortless. So we need an empty fizzy pop bottle. You will need some water, some string, an old spoon, some scissors, some labels, but if you don't have labels you can just write on paper and then use some sticky tape to put it onto your bottle. Some compost, a pen, seeds of your choice and some cling film. So I have washed up my empty fizzy pop bottle and I have carefully cut around about a third to half of the way down, so you will need to ask a grown-up to do this for you. So I literally put my scissors in and cut all the way around, and then I am left with two pieces. You'll need to unscrew the lid, get your string, about that much. You need to make a hole in your lid. I used the end of some scissors. Probably best to get your grown-up to do that as well. So place the string over the top of the lid, over the hole, and with your pen you can just gently push it through so the string goes through onto the other side. I can see that through the other side, so I literally pull it through, pull it to about halfway, and it's that bit done. Screw the lid back on. Then you will have 2 pieces of string hanging down from the lid. What I'm going to do first is label my pot. So with my labels, I am going to write coriander on. I have chosen to grow some herbs today. So I will put my label on the pot. So first, take your pot and pour some water in. By doing this, this is just an easy way of not watering your seedlings. The string will go down and soak up the water, which will go up to the lid, and then we are going to put our compost in here. So we place that like that. Next thing we need to do is to put our compost in. Just make sure that it is broken up first. We don't want any large lumps in, as that will stop the water from getting through to the seedlings and the roots. So carefully, we want to fill it to just over halfway. I'm just going to level that out. Just to give it a start, I'm going to put a little bit of water in. Don't put too much in though, you don't want the water sitting on the top. And then my seeds, cut the top off. Inside you will have a packet that looks like this. Make sure all the seeds have fallen down to the bottom. Your scissors, top off. And in here, this packet tells me that there are 100 seeds in here, so we're not going to put the whole packet in. Just going to gently sprinkle some over the top of the compost. This is what they look like. So carefully sprinkle them over. It's on the back of the packet on how to grow them, and it says that you will see the seedlings appear within 2 to 3 weeks. So if you go ahead and do this week at some point, then over the half term you should start seeing your seedlings just poke above the compost. And then if you can upload what you have done onto Tapestry, we can actually see what you've been growing. So we have the water, which the string is sitting on. The water will soak into the string. The water will soak up the cap all the way up through the compost, and then we'll feed the seedlings. I'm just going to cover a little bit of compost over the top of the seeds without disturbing them. Just gently cover those over. I'm just going to give it a tiny sprinkle of water. Just be careful of the top of this because it may be sharp from cutting it. And then with some cling film, I'm just going to cover over the top. This will help keep the warmth in and also the moisture. And the fact that it's clear, you can actually still see your seedlings grow. So as soon as you see them appear above the compost, you can take your cling film off. We need, the food is the water, and we need the light, so we are going to put it on the windowsill. And there we go. That's all you have to do to grow your own seeds, and you don't even need a garden. So all I'm going to do is leave that on the side. That's it, and I'm just going to happily watch them grow. Okay, thank you for watching.
Wow, how amazing is that? You don't need very much, do you? I especially like the top tip about putting the water into the bottle and then letting it soak up the string, because I sometimes am a little bit forgetful when it comes to plants, and I start to grow them and they don't grow because I forget the water, and we know that water is one of the things that plants need. You remember that? Right, we'll finish off with our school prayer now. Help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good, in all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Okay. Have a lovely, lovely evening. I hope that some of you can do some planting, or maybe you could be like Matisse and start doing some drawing or some cutting out of different shapes and sticking them together on another page. All things that express ourselves and keep us happy. Oh, before I say goodbye in English, I need to try and say goodbye in Malayalam. So I believe I'm saying this right. I shall find out tomorrow, I'm sure, if I haven't said it correctly. I'm going to say Vita van Ullum. Vita van Ullum. Bye.
Express yourself. Express yourself.